Okay. Got myself down in 3, 2. Hello and welcome, neighbors and friends. My name is Gary, of course. Last time we left off, I was starting or constructing a short story by scratch. As you can see, I'm not at home base right now. I'm at my parents' place, but we're going to go ahead and get started here. Going to continue on from where we last left off. Now, cut right here, bring you back to where I am. Okay, to kind of read off what I last got here, just took out my watch just for comfort's sake. She stepped quietly down the foyer and attempted to walk past the open door. Whenever she did this, the stacks of translucent images would pump in her mind. Although there was a noticeable difference, one image contained a desolate road under fog. A black tree would be on the side. The image gave her a cold chill and brought slimy tingles on the back of her skull and on her back. So we've already made it clear, see if you guys can see that, already made it clear that the sensations are there whenever she thinks about that last image, and it only happens when the door is open and she tries to go through the open door. So, what is next? I think at this point, this is more world building than actual storytelling. I'm getting down the rules mainly. So, because I definitely want to try something different to introduce it, to add more obscurity, more mystery to the entire story. Like maybe I'll have it start to where she wakes up the way she usually wakes up, but you know, the same kind of sensations are there. I definitely want to add more mystery in the beginning, that way it can entice the reader to go along. Back of her neck and her back. Let's see. I guess at this point, since I don't really have much to add on as far as world building, I'm going to go ahead and get into the plot, the meat and potatoes of the story. So we're going to move it along. I'm going to start on a new paragraph. Oh, this tripod's getting in my way, and you can't even see me right. I'm going to try this. Okay, not in the way. You can still see the paper. Hopefully you can still see my hand when I write. Okay. I don't really know how to proceed with this. I have the... Should I start over? And of course, this is the typical challenge for any writer as to how they want to start their story. So we'll go ahead and... I wouldn't say restart. Maybe restart. Because I do like how it begins. Where she's running, and there's creaking floors, everything is horrible, everything is just happening in one go, and we're go, go, go. I definitely want to keep that. It hooks the readers in, and they don't know what's going on. I guess the issue here was there's a lot of exposition on my part, but of course this is just a rough draft. It's kind of both an outline and a draft of what I'm writing down. Let's see. Farther down the voyeur, back skull. No, we need to get started into the story. So, of course, this isn't a perfect draft, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump into one of the big details. I'll connect it all in the final draft for sure. And I only have about 10 days to do so, so there will be some times where I will continue on without you guys, just so I can get the story done before 10 days are up. So, okay. One morning was... I don't know if that's cliche. Pretty much I have here, one morning was particularly stranger than the rest. I don't think I like that line very much. Though her days seemed to melt into chunk time, few events would stick out and stay with her. Okay, I like this much better. This it's not as big as a leap as the other lines have been. Plus, the story moves along, so this is good. And I wrote, though her days seemed to melt into a chunk of time, few events would stick out and stay with her. So now that we have that established, now I go into what those events actually are. Let's see, what are one of those days? Okay. When her priority was in maintaining the home, I think I switched it to home here just to kind of emphasize that she's trapped here. She found an old photo behind the grand piano in the parlor. She had nearly forgotten what music sounded like. Now, this is a cheesy line. I don't really like it very much. She had nearly forgotten what music sounded like. Let's see. I think, well, since this is a draft, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we're just going to go ahead and move on. This photo was... This line really telegraphs everything. I don't know if I want to use it. I'm gonna age it up. The photo was of a child in a dress. The photo was of a child in a dress. Very ominous, very creepy. Aged it up so it isn't too telegraphed. There's still enough leeway and play you can have with a photo of a child instead of an infant. Hands clasped in front of body. Okay. The photo was of a child in a dress, hands clasped in front of her body, back straight and staring ahead. This child seemed to have grown out of the age of play. So a very serious looking picture of a child. We don't know whether it's either her or hers, one of the two. So now that we have that established, okay. Picking it up was a mistake, as screeching noises rang out when she did. So maybe she was seen. I might have given away something here. Let's see when she did. Okay. Now this next line contradicts the last one for sure, so I will need to edit that whenever the time comes. But here I wrote, the memory that stuck out to her was the pull on that photo. It felt as if she pulled it away from out of someone's hand. So we get an idea of what kind of weirdness is going on. This line kind of contradicts the last one, in which she just picked it up. Like, did she pick it up or did she pull it out of someone's hand? And I might go as pulling it out of someone's hand. I like that better. The like, obviously all of this needs work. It's all jumbled up and sloppy. I'm just kind of throwing ideas out there and see what sticks. This will need some work, but if I work hard, I should have plenty of time to do so, and it should be more cohesive. Because ultimately, I know what the big final thing is for sure, but I'm trying to do this weird balance of telegraphing it, but also not telegraphing it. And mystery writers out there, horror writers out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to have that weird balance between, telling everything, showing everything, but not saying a word, that kind of deal. This will be the challenge I'll have to tackle myself. The second time a memory stuck with her was when she touched the axe. Oh, this kind of gives a lot away. It's a short story, so I guess it's okay. I guess how it happened isn't too much of a mystery. More like what is happening is the bigger mystery, in my opinion. Of course, I will be workshopping it, but I do think the what is more fascinating than the how. So we'll go ahead and continue on with that. Touch the axe near the fireplace. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, I've yet to give her a name. I don't think I will, not for this story. I think she'll always remain a she, a her, and young woman. I don't think I'll give her a name. It's kind of, as far as the theme of the story, maybe it's a bit of nihilism mixed with despair. I don't know. We'll figure it out when time gets there. She could feel moisture accumulating back and on her skull. Savor the sweat. Okay. For some reason, I'm not really digging tonight's lines. I don't know, something's a bit off. But of course, through editing, that can all be fixed. The second time my memory stuck with her is when she touched the axe near the fireplace. She could feel the moisture accumulating on her back and on her skull. Patting those areas, her hands came back dry, save for the sweat on her palms. Okay, I should have wrote that. On her palms. I guess tonight I'm just kind of getting all the ideas out for sure. As far as any major, like, legit writing, once I have all my ideas out there, then I'll go ahead and execute on that. You're gonna see the time here. Okay, we're still good. What's next? What's next? Remember, this is 1630, so I gotta cut around here, at least cut around this area. I'm gonna write a note of that to cut down 1630 because there's a lot of lag, a lot of silence there. 1630-ish. Cut due to dead air. Because there is an idea I have of. I don't want to. Here's the other issue I have. On the one hand, you're watching this short story be made from scratch. On the other, I don't want to spoil it. It's a bit of an issue I have right now. I don't want to spoil the ending, but I also want to bring you along the process. So more than likely, I will probably be working on this off camera and kind of share with you guys whenever the time is right. But this is mainly kind of giving you an idea of what the process is like. Don't worry, this isn't the end. I'm just kind of talking while I'm thinking. But it's very much I think the difference between writing a novel versus writing a short story. With a novel, obviously it's more intricate. There's a lot more details. You need to plan things out further in advance. But with short stories, I feel you can take more of a chance. You can take more risk. Your stories can be more outlandish because even if the audience hates it, it's at least short. The story is at least short, even if it's terrible. And really, the only terrible short stories are the ones without passion behind it. Probably one of my favorite ones, I don't remember the name of the author, but what the story was about was a very like Ronald Reagan, George Bush type of politician in Texas, and something of his is diminished by aliens. The whole story is hilarious. Just a lot of the usage on that is also great. If I find out what it is, I'll link it in the description below. It's a good story. But usually with short stories, you don't really need to put yourself as much pressure as I'm putting on myself, for sure. You just throw out an idea and hopefully it sticks, and you just kind of work it out and expand it out into a story. Now the limit here is about, from what we specified, is about 7,000 words. That's the limit. I don't think I've reached there yet, not even close. But again, this is more of a concept, kind of getting my ideas together. So I've kind of signified that there's items, important items that kind of that she remembers. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and table this real quick, just so I can kind of get an idea. So in the beginning, I'm finally gonna bullet journal for sure. I'm finally gonna put bullets in my journal. So number one, what is the plot? I might have to cut this out. Nah, I'll just start with. I'll just do scene by scene. So, scene one. Action scene where YW is running from an unseen force. Next scene, wake up / the thread that we revisit. I don't even know if it's the right term to use it, but pretty much this scene where she wakes up completely disillusioned. It's our reset point. Ah, that's what it's called. Wake up, reset point. This is pretty much the big motif, the big theme, the kind of anchor to the whole story of where that's going to be. Next bullet, reset point. Bit of world building. Obviously, this is pretty much what we've been working on this entire time. I'm probably going to shorten it, make it a lot more concise. That way, it's not so muddled. Because the kind of thing I have, it's a bit complicated, especially for a short story that's supposed to be of horror. It's a bit complicated, but it's definitely an idea I want to pursue. Because all due respect to my other peers, I wanted to do something completely out there and completely different, and something that will really knock people's socks off. So right here we have a bit of world building. That's what we've been up to. What's next? Rule breaking is what I'm going to call it. If you can still see it. Rule breaking. And this is where we get the inciting incident. And although it's called rule breaking, it's a term I made up, but it's going to have a bit of rule bending as well. Rule bending. With back to world building, this is where items or patterns of importance are established. There's that. Rule breaking, inciting incident, rule bending, and this moves plot along. Because this is a short story, I don't really need a lot of bullets. I think by the time we get to rule breaking, that's end of Act 1, beginning of Act 2. I'm going to call this world shift. And this is where the rules are broken and the mystery of why. Now this could easily be, the whole story itself of the world shift of when the rules are broken, and pretty much our main character is trying to figure out the mystery of why. Why is her, even in her purgatory, why is this purgatory falling apart? Yeah, at some point, I don't know if I want to put an origin. It really kind of, it'll make it easier to sympathize with our main character, but it would step all over the whole nihilism and kind of despair motif. I don't want to do that. Well, I'll just put, instead of a bullet, I'll put a circle. Sorry, finds out why. Because for the rule breaking, this is where another character is introduced. And I kind of have an idea of what type of person I want the second character to be. And this will relate back into the circle that's not a bullet. Probably inciting the origin. Here I have exploration of origin. And here we have loop back to world building and reset point. Because, yeah, this could also easily be a whole story on its own. And after the exploration of the origin, then we have our twist, which, the world shift, I'll have to figure out how to do that, and I'm not even sure. But the twist very much relies on all of these being uniform and being together and being, they don't step on each other. And if I introduce a second character, it kind of undoes that. It kind of undoes that, I should say. It kind of undoes that. Just makes a lot of it unnecessary. And I definitely want a strong twist. Twist. Then finally, twist ending. Bum, bum, bum. So pretty much the difference between twist and twist ending, twist is the kind of thing that makes you go, oh my goodness, what is that? And then after that, you get a twist ending, and this is after the rising action has gone down. Rising action has gone down, everyone's settled out and just kind of cooling out. And then with the final twist ending, it takes that expectation and blows it up. So that's kind of the flow of it. After the twist, the twist is I'm gonna put exclamation point. After the twist, the hype goes down, and we're back to seemingly normal, trying to figure out things, and then bam, one more twist ending to really bring the point home. So now I kind of have an idea of how I want it to flow. All that it really is me having to figure out the rules some more, what characters I want to bring in. I still need to do my research, I suppose. I got about 10 days to finish this, so I'll definitely be focusing on that. But as far as chapter 10 in the novel, that will definitely be worked on as well. I'm hoping to have this whole story done pretty soon, so I don't imagine I'll spend too long on it. Is there anything else? So this video is clearly going to be shorter than the others. It's only because I'm stumped, and it's a very clear indicator that I need to put in more legwork into the structure, into the skeleton of the short story. But as I said before, you don't necessarily have to have one style. There's no one style better than the other. It really depends on how you flow and how you do it. And this happens to be my way. It's very messy, and at first it's very freestyle, freehand, but then we get back in structure. But this is good. It helps me cut down on the fat. It helps me stick to the point. It helps me make a good story overall. And now, I don't think I have much to say after that. Be continuing on with the same schedule as usual. And of course, if there's any questions, I put my email on the description box. Same thing with my Twitter account. Feel free to hit me up anytime if you have any writing questions of anything like that. But once again, thank you for watching tonight. Remember to stay safe and just write.